Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown has just revealed that she is now engaged to her boyfriend that she has been in a relationship with for 2.5 years, Jake Bon Jovi. The Stranger Things actress, who is 19, announced the news earlier Tuesday alongside Jake, who is the son of legendary singer Jon Bon Jovi. Showing off her glimmering rock with a monochrome picture, the teenage star beamed from ear to ear while in the arms of her new fiance, when she went on to caption her post by saying, "I've loved you 3 summers now, honey, I want them all." Jake also shared an announcement post on his own page, simply writing "forever" alongside 2 snaps of the couple. The announcement would confirm some speculation that's been circulating online for the last couple of weeks after Millie was seen flashing a glimpse of the ring in her recent post. With the two connecting on Instagram and becoming friends through the platform before they started dating, it still has a lot of people questioning how appropriate their relationship really is. Number 9, Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's marriages have always been pretty controversial, especially to her first husband, Damon Thomas. And this is probably because the star admitted that she was under the influence when she made the decision to marry the music producer, when she was just 19 years old. With the star admitting on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that she made some pretty bad decisions in the past due to her substance use, she would elaborate on her use to her younger sister Kendall Jenner and the father of her sister Kourtney Kardashian's children, Scott Disick. When she said, "I did it once and got married, I did it again and made an X-rated tape," like everything bad would happen. However, the most disturbing part is the fact that Damon was 30 when he married Kim at the age of 19. Kim would eventually divorce the music producer, citing physical and emotional trauma on Thomas's part, and they would separate in 2003. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. Coming back to our list, in the number 8 spot, we have Drew Barrymore. You know what's funnier than a 72-day marriage, a 19-day one, but lucky for Drew, no one actually seems to talk about it. Drew's transformation from a child star to a credible actress may have been a long process, but she got there in the end somewhat unscathed. However, one thing that didn't come out of her troubled past unscathed was her love life, as the actress has been married 3 times in such a short amount of time. With her mother encouraging her at a young age to have a typical celebrity life, attending parties even though she was only 10. She was always accompanying her mother to nightclubs, and by the age of 10 she even turned to alcohol and substances to cope with all of her trauma. By the age of 19, Drew would meet Jerry Thomas, who was 31 years old at the time, after she walked into a bar he owned, with the two separating just 19 days after. Drew would then go on to get married 2 more times, and after both those times Drew would finally vow off dating, until last year when she revealed after 6 years of not dating she was finally dating again. Number 7, Hailey Bieber. So I think we can all agree Hailey and Justin Bieber got married not only way too young but also way too fast, and that's probably why we see the couple struggling from time to time to cope with the problems that are surrounding their marriage. With Hailey opening up about reflecting on her decision to marry Justin Bieber when she was only 21 years old back in 2021, she would then tell Insider, "I was married when I was 21, 2 months before I turned 22, which is insanely young. Sounds almost ridiculous when you say it out loud. Although I do think for somebody like me and somebody like Justin, it's different. We've seen a lot for our age. We both lived enough life to know that's what we wanted." But are we really sure this is exactly what Justin wanted? Because we all know Hailey wanted to marry him since she was an obsessed fan, forcing her parents to introduce her to the star. With Hailey admitting that she had a desire to settle down early as a result of her parents' story, Justin has even gone on to admit that her parents definitely arranged his marriage now that he thinks about it. Coming at number 6, we have Aaliyah. Just 2 years after Aaliyah signed a record deal with her uncle in Detroit when she was just 12 years old, she teamed up with R. Kelly to make her first record, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Not long after Aaliyah and Kelly entered into a relationship, by the time Aaliyah turned 15 years old, and she would remarry Kelly, who was 27 at the time, as a scheme he hatched to protect himself as he feared that he impregnated her. When her parents discovered their marriage, they would quickly have it annulled, but the scandal went on to tarnish Aaliyah's reputation reputation more than Kelly's, as no one really considered her to be one of Kelly's first victims. In 2019, Kelly would also face charges with scheming with others to pay for a fake ID for an unnamed female a day before he married Aaliyah. And the revised indictment accused Kelly of paying a bribe in exchange for a fraudulent identification for someone identified only as Jane Doe on August 30th, 1994. A day later, Kelly married Aaliyah in a secret ceremony that he arranged in a hotel in Chicago. At the time, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment about whom the ID was meant for, and the indictment didn't mention the wedding, but a person familiar with the investigation would confirm the Jane Doe was Aaliyah. However, that still didn't stop Kelly and his attorneys from maintaining the idea that he was unaware of Aaliyah's age when they were married, and the license he gave her for the wedding said that she was 18. Number 5. Marilyn Monroe. It's clear that Marilyn Monroe lived a really tough life. As many fans of Marilyn know, she did not grow up with her parents, as her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, was not prepared to raise a child. With her mother later being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, as a result, she had to give Marilyn to a foster family. Marilyn would then go on to be raised in numerous foster homes and orphanages, and eventually she lived in the home of her mother's friend's house, Grace Goddard, and her husband, Irwin Doc Goddard. During high school, however, in 1942, right as Marilyn was turning 16, Doc's job relocated him out of the state, and due to California's protection laws, he wouldn't be able to bring Monroe along with him. This would then force her to go back to the orphanage. As a result, Marilyn would then settle by marrying her neighbor, James Doherty, who was 21 years old, so she could avoid being sent back to the orphanage. Monroe then dropped out of school to become a housewife. James later enlisted in the Marines, and the couple would finally divorce by 1946. And coming in number 4, we have Milla Jovovich. In the early 90s, Milla Jovovich was in a hurry to grow up. The model and actress got her big break in movies in 1993 when she landed a role in a cult comedy classic called Dazed and Confused. Years later, she told the Daily Mail that the flick also marked a big break in her love life because she decided to elope with her co-star and boyfriend Shawn Andrews, who was only 21 years old. With the two getting hitched in Las Vegas when Milla was only 16 years old, the Residence Evil star would later reveal she wasn't even into actors and she just did it to prove a point to her mom and to score a bank card. Later, Milla would even open up about her relationship when she said, "I was a big girl as far as I was concerned, and I wanted to establish myself as an adult. And I was working like one and being treated like one by everyone else. It wasn't about being in love." The pair then went on to get married in secret in 1992, and just 2 months later, according to the director of Dazed and Confused, he would state he believed that the marriage ended after Milla's mother had it annulled. Number 3. Courtney Stodden. Back in 2022, Courtney Stodden would speak out about being married to actor Doug Hutchinson when they were 16 and Doug was 51 by saying they were exploited. Courtney, who uses the pronouns they them, would go on to say they exchanged vows with Doug in Las Vegas back in 2011 with parental consent, as Nevada's law at the time stated those under 18 could get married but only with parental consent. And with there being no minimum limit in the state at the time, parental consent and a judge sign-off was required for anyone under the age of 16. Recounting the experience when they appeared on an episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast, Courtney, who's divorced from the Lost actor that was finalized in 2022, told the host that their relationship actually started over email and things quickly progressed. Doug then went on to convince Courtney's parents that the pair should get married in 1 week after they all met in person. When Courtney went on to speak about her mother, they would highlight that their mother was receiving a lot of hate and they could understand why, because it was wrong for their mom to sign them away to a man who was 34 years older than them. With nothing preparing them for the life they had entered into, they just wanted people to know that the relationship wasn't okay, and someone should have realized that she wasn't mature enough to make her own decisions. Number 2. Demi Moore. Demi Moore's first marriage was to musician Freddie Moore when the actress was just 17 years old, with Demi giving fans an inside look of her 3 marriages in her memoir Inside Out. In the book, she would recall her and Freddie's marriage, which only lasted until 1984. before, with Demi admitting that she was very unfaithful to the musician who was 29, especially on the night before they were set to say I do. She would go on to say, "The night before we got married, instead of working on my videos, I was calling a guy I'd met on a movie set. I snuck out of my own bachelorette party and went to his apartment." Demi then went on to note that the reason she did this was because she was having doubts and she couldn't face the fact that she was actually getting married because she was trying to distract herself from grieving the passing of her father. Because she felt like there was no room to question what was really in motion, she felt like the only way she could get out of her marriage was to sabotage it. Eventually the two went on to get a divorce, and Demi would keep her married name as her stage name. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Bindi Irwin. Bindi Irwin and Chandler Powell have a movie-worth romance. With the pair meeting as teenagers in late 2013, they stayed in touch for a couple of years before they became an official couple in 2015. Chandler would then move to Australia to be with Bindi, and later he would ask her to marry him in 2019. The couple then finally got married the following year when she was 21 and he was 23, and then by 2021 they would welcome their daughter Grace. Bindi, alongside her brother and mom, have continued working for her late father Steve Irwin, who is known most for his stage name the Crocodile Hunter. For years, Steve traveled across the globe to protect animals and help preserve the environment before his passing. Now Bindi does the work with her own family, and even Chandler has become equally passionate about the wildlife, and they have been showing their daughter how to have passion for it as well. With the couple meeting in the Australia Zoo to go on to welcome their daughter and allowing her to grow up in her grandfather's legacy, I think when it comes to this marriage, Steve Irwin would be extremely proud. At number 10, we have Billie Eilish and Jesse Rutherford. Billie Eilish has definitely been having a good laugh about the age difference between her and her rumored new boyfriend, Jesse Rutherford. Despite the pair being friends for years, the two have reportedly been dating in recent weeks, and neither have made comments to confirm their relationship, leaving the world guessing what's truly going on. While some people have been disgusted about the fact that the two have an 11-year age difference, many fans have come to support Billie, and they are finally happy that she seems happy with her new beau. While Billie and Jesse have decided to send a message about their age gap to critics by wearing a Halloween costume dressed as a baby and an old man, it definitely was met with some controversy, as it didn't sit well with many. One fan would even say, "Billie is grown enough to know how weird and creepy this is, BTW." However, both seem really happy spending time together, so just let the two be happy and leave it at that. At number 9, we have Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble have been dating for the last 8 years, despite the pair having a 25-year age gap. Corey is 42, which makes him the same age as Kris's second eldest daughter, Kim Kardashian. With Kris being 67, the pair started dating back in 2014, despite minor breakup rumors starting in 2017. It was later rumored that the couple was engaged when Kris appeared on the Late Night Show in August of 2018, supporting a massive ring. However, Kris opted to eat a cricket instead of confirming or denying the engagement to Corey. However, despite any rumors since the two have been together, they have seemed pretty loved up, as they have appeared on red carpets gushing over each other. Corey has been a major rock for Kris in her life, and he's been such an amazing support system for her. Not only does he have love for Kris, but he also loves her kids, and they love him. So that's all that matters. Hey my little peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z first started dating back in 2001 before tying the knot on April 4th, 2008. Despite being 12 years apart, the two would go on to start a beautiful family that constantly goes on to break the internet every time Beyonce announces she is pregnant. When the two first got together, Beyonce was 26 and Jay-Z was 38. Since the two have gotten together, they've collaborated on hits such as Bonnie and Clyde, Crazy in Love, That's How You Like It, Deja Vu, and Upgrade You. Despite cheating on Beyonce, the two have gone on to work on their marriage, and they have shown everyone that age is just a number and that any family can be fixed as long as you believe in love and you work out your problems. However, Beyonce's album Lemonade definitely left us all shook when she called out Jay-Z in the most iconic way. At number 7, we have Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds first met and became good friends when they were filming Green Lantern. Jump to a year later, the pair would officially start dating in 2011, and then they would be married by 2012 despite being 11 years apart. Since the couple has been married, they have been making us all wish we could all find love like them, as their marriage seems like it came straight out of a Disney fairy tale. The couple has 3 daughters, and fun fact, did you know their youngest daughter is named Betty based on the lyrics of a Taylor Swift song, who actually happens to be close friends to the couple? Either way, Blake and Ryan have taught us it's okay to date someone older or younger as long as you're happy, and that's all that truly matters. At number 6, Nick Jonas and Priyanka. Nick Jonas and Priyanka have shattered stereotypes related to age gaps when they initially started dating and later got married. Despite the duo being 10 years apart, neither of the two have been bothered by it. Both Nick and Priyanka have shattered stereotypes by embracing their age gap wholeheartedly. Priyanka definitely likes to tease Nick about the age gap, however, she knows it has led to the success within their marriage. Nick has shown her how to use TikTok, and she's taunted him about what a successful acting career actually looks like. Priyanka has also gone on to say, "I'm from India, a country rich in culture, in music, in entertainment, so clearly the Jonas brothers didn't make it over there. However, we seriously can't get over how cute it is to see these two support each other and grow their family." At number 5, Nikki Reed and Ian Somerhalder. Nikki Reed and Ian Somerhalder didn't waste any time before taking the next step in their relationship despite having a 10-year age gap. Just 6 months after they started dating, the two would get engaged in January 2015 and would get married in April of 2015. While both had no idea if they were doing it right, they definitely both woke up every day to choose each other. Over the years, the two have done a lot. They've laughed a lot, they've continued to cheer each other on, and they've shown us what a true support system looks like. Since getting together, this couple has continued to show us their love for each other every chance they get. Their endless smiles, family, and reflection have shown age is just a number and it isn't going to stop them from loving each other. At number 4, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Sam Taylor Johnson. Actor Aaron Taylor Johnson and director Sam Taylor Johnson have been together for more than a decade. However, despite having a 23-year age gap, it's never stopped the pair from speaking about their long-lasting romance in various interviews. No one knows the exact age they both were when they first met. However, publications have claimed that he was 19 and she was 42 years old when he auditioned for her. Aaron has even told Harper Bazaar that he still remembers how Sam looked at that first audition when he said, "I knew exactly what she was wearing. This white shirt that she still has that I love. It definitely changed my life, though not in the way I expected." The couple has also never been scared to talk about their age gap, as Aaron has also spoken about it when speaking to Telegraph UK in 2015, when he said, "When I met Sam, I'd already lived a life far beyond most of my contemporaries. I didn't relate to anyone my age. I just feel we're on the same wavelength." At number 3, we have Amber Tamblyn and David Cross. David Cross and his wife Amber Tamblyn have been married since 2012, but the comedian has admitted that he was hesitant to get with the actress at first due to their 19-year age gap. David has even admitted that during the couple's first on-stage appearance at the 2012 comedy show in New York, that he was really unsure if it was okay to even make the first move. He would even then tell HuffPost that "I was slow to make any moves because of our age difference, and also because she was a fan." Amber immediately responded by joking by saying, "If anyone's wondering, I'm 14. At number 2, we have Katharine McPhee and David Foster. Grammy winner David Foster knows there's been plenty of chatter when it comes to his 35-year age gap between him and his wife, Katharine McPhee. However, both have gone on to pay no mind to it. David even went to tell people that "People always make reference with Kat and I with the age difference, but I've always said there's so many things that can bring a marriage down. And age difference is just one of them. There's so many things that can go wrong. We think we have it pretty together." Now, fans were definitely super shocked to see Katharine and David when they first got together, despite some major backlash and criticism the two have faced since getting together due to their massive age gap. The couple has remained classy and has taken it all in stride. At number 1, we have Rosie Huntington and Jason Statham. Rosie Huntington and Jason Statham are definitely in it for the long haul, as the couple has been together for more than a decade despite their 20-year age difference. While some people have raised their eyebrows since the two got together, both don't seem to be bothered by the age gap, as Rosie has even said, "Age is nothing but a number." Rosie and Jason have been best mates since they first met. They laugh, and Jason has created a relationship that she's never experienced in prior relationships. Since 2010, the pair have often showcased their relationship in the public eye and have been proving that they are made for each other, even if there is a 20-year age gap between them. Both seem to be really good for each other and happy, and we all look forward to seeing where the relationship takes them.
Number 10. Leo DiCaprio. Leo has had several younger partners over the years. He's never dated anyone older than him or even close to his age. Earlier this year, a Twitter user actually took the time to create a chart showcasing the age gap slowly growing between himself and his newest partners. He is currently dating a woman by the name of Camilla Morone, who is 22 years younger than Leo. According to the chart, he prefers women in their early to mid-20s, but he hasn't stayed in a relationship with anyone past the age of 25. He's actually broken up with 3 women just because they turned 25. Like, how messed up is that? Like they expired or something. That's not a thing. Despite severe online backlash from internet trolls, Camilla hit back at the criticism by sharing several photos of other couples with much larger gaps than hers and Leo's. As you will see throughout the rest of this list, the statement is very true. While other entries will be a bit more wholesome, Leo's story of love is clouded with anxiety. Oddly enough, Camilla actually dumped Leo herself before turning 25, claiming that Leo wanted a family and she wanted to focus on her career, but come on, you just wanted to beat Leo to it, didn't you? Number 9. Jeff Goldblum and Emily Livingston. Jeff Goldblum is one of those celebrities that just kinda like plays himself in movies, and we love every minute of it. He even has a TV show where he does just that, called The World According to Jeff Goldblum. It's tremendous, you should check it out. In 2013, Jeff met Olympic gymnast Emily Livingston at a gym. He saw her from across the room and was instantly entranced. He started a conversation, and it must have gone pretty well because about a year later they were married. At the time, he was 62 and she was 31. That's right, there was a 31-year age gap between them. Much respect to Jeff for still going to a gym in his 60s though, we can only be so lucky. And the fact that he met a woman that he loves there is just like a little bonus. Many news outlets began to question the relationship, calling into question Jeff's behavior. But since day one, there has been nothing but love and respect between the two who share a genuine connection with each other. Their relationship has stood the test of time, as not only are they still together to this day, they've had 2 children together, Charlie Ocean and River Joe. Even at the age of 70 years old, Jeff is the proudest papa that we've seen in a long time. Number 8. Nicolas Cage and Alice Kim. Nicolas Cage is a man that should need no introduction, but honestly his career has just been all over the place, so let's chat about it for a minute. Nicolas is famous for making some very questionable acting choices that have teetered between fantastic and just god-awful burn my eyes out now. While his luck in the film industry has been solid, his love life not so much. That is until he met Alice Kim in 2004 while she was working as a waitress in Los Angeles. Kim was 19 at the time and Nicholas was 20 years older than her. He told The Guardian, "When my mother-in-law came to the house for the first time, before saying hello or nice to meet you, all I got was, 'She's too young.'" At that point they knew the relationship would be an uphill battle, but they powered through, with Alice even starring in Nick's 2007 flick Next alongside Julianne Moore and Jessica Biel. They split in 2016, but during their time together they had a son named Kal-El Coppola Cage, which is somehow both the strangest and most epic name I have ever heard. Number 7. Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. Kardashian momager Kris Jenner, much like her daughters, has had a rocky love life to say the least. Kris divorced Caitlyn Jenner in 2014 and decided to take a trip to Ibiza to cool off. She was attending a friend's party when she ran into Corey Gamble, a former talent agent who was working as Justin Bieber's tour manager at the time. Sparks flew and the couple decided to continue their escapades, first being spotted together in October 2014 at a music festival. The couple were inseparable to the point where a year later, Corey was invited to be a part of the reality drama series Keeping Up with the Kardashians, following Kris and her family's day-to-day operations. Or something like that, I don't know, I don't watch it. However, her kids weren't so stoked about the idea of Corey being their new papa, seeing as he was 24 years younger than their mother. Despite backlash from the kids, the relationship continued and they're currently going strong to this day. Number 6. Patrick Stewart and Sunny Ozell. Sir Patrick Stewart is a prime example of a man dating much younger women. Star Trek star and future wheelchair-bound telepath met his wife Sunny Ozell, a singer, in 2008 while out for dinner one night. Ozell was a singer in the States and doing very well for herself. She approached Patrick Stewart about his current production of Macbeth. She wanted to see it in Brooklyn, but it was sold out till the end of its run. Well, Patrick then told her that they would be moving the show to Broadway soon, and gave her his number so that he could set her up with some seats. Patrick has stated in interviews that there may have been an ulterior motive, and thankfully it appears that that was the situation on both sides. Despite the 38-year age difference between them, the couple began seeing each other not long after Macbeth's Broadway premiere, and they were married in 2013. They are still together to this day and are genuinely one of the most adorable couples in Hollywood. They act like college sweethearts whenever they're together. And Stewart, who is now 82, has made it clear that his relationship with Sonny has given him a new outlook and has made life perpetually interesting. Number 5. Florence Pugh and Zach Braff. Florence Pugh has been carving a path in Hollywood as a force to be reckoned with. She's funny, she's serious, she can fight, she's got it all! And what she also has is a thing for older funny dudes. Zach Braff is probably best known for being in the TV series Scrubs from 2001 to 2010, but I know him as the voice of Chicken Little. Zach first contacted Pugh on Instagram to praise her for her role in Lady Macbeth. He said everything about the project was beautiful, from the cinematography to Florence herself. She reached out in a response, and the couple were spotted holding hands in April of 2019. Despite their 12-year age difference, they seemed to have a solid relationship and were going strong until 2022, when things just kind of fizzled out. Although they split, Zach actually wrote a character in his directorial debut feature A Good Person with Florence in mind, and they worked very well together despite their past. Number 4. Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor. American Horror Story fans surely recognize Sarah as various characters throughout the series, appearing in 95 episodes. She starred in a slew of thriller and horror movies over the years, but one Holland Taylor was able to look past the scary exterior. You may recognize Taylor from the movie Legally Blonde, the sitcom 2.5 Men, or perhaps from the highly underrated Disney comedy George of the Jungle. The two met at a party in 2005. At the time, Paulson was dating fellow actress Sherry Jones, best known for her role in the series Succession. Despite there being a 32-year age difference between Sarah and Holland, Paulson claims that she was instantly taken back by Taylor's beauty, quoted as saying she was probably the most beautifully exquisite woman she had ever seen. Come on guys, find you a partner that says that kind of stuff. While this would be their first interaction, it wasn't until 10 years later in 2015 that the couple would reunite while working on a project for Martha Plimpton. They slid into each other's DMs and eventually into the sheets. They've been together since their reconnection in 2015 and are going strong despite some backlash on their age difference. Number 3. Mary-Kate Olsen. Kate may have grown up on the small screen with her twin sister Ashley, but nowadays she spends her time with a new life partner. His name is Olivier Sarkozy, the former French president's half-brother. Yeah, that guy definitely sounds like a catfish. Olsen, seen here being held hostage by Olivier at a basketball game, is 17 years younger than her spouse. They were married in 2015, and around the same time, her sister Ashley was also dating someone much older than her, director Bennett Miller, who is 19 years her senior. Number 2. Dick Van Dyke and Arlene Silver. Dick Van Dyke stole the hearts of millions when he played chimney sweep Bert in the original Mary Poppins movie from 1964. Fun fact, in 1964, his current wife wasn't even alive yet. He starred in several classic flicks over the years, well into his 70s, even starring alongside Ben Stiller in Night at the Museum in 2006. Van, because I'm not allowed to call him by his first or last name for pretty obvious reasons, met wife and makeup artist Arlene Silver at the Screen Actors Guild Award in 2006. Despite their 46-year age difference, it seemed that their connection was too strong to care. They were married in 2012 and are still going strong to this day, making them one of the few Hollywood couples to make it in Hollywood. Hey, that's something they should be very proud of. And at number 1, Sam and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Many viewers will recognize Aaron's face. He's been a leading man in several movies over the years and a very strong supporting actor, as showcased in his recent role as Tangerine in Bullet Train, alongside Brad Pitt and Brian Tyree Henry. In 2009, when he was just 19, Aaron played legendary musician John Lennon in a biopic called Nowhere Boy. The film told the story of a young John Lennon pre-Beatles fame during his adolescence, with a focus on his relationship between his family and his journey to becoming a Beatle. The film was directed by a woman named Samantha Taylor Wood, who was 42 at the time. Samantha is a producer and director, best known for her 2015 romantic thriller, 50 Shades of Grey. It would appear that Aaron's performance as John, particularly the steamy sections, caught her attention in quite a few ways, and the pair began seeing each other on the down low. 2 years later, they were married and now share each other's last names, Taylor Johnson, and currently live with their 4 kids in Los Angeles. A happy ending to a happy list. Number 10. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is the Gladiator Maximus to many people, a role he portrayed in the 2000 movie Gladiator. It was a commanding and brutal performance from Crowe, astonishing crowds worldwide and creating a massive buzz for what this man could do next. In Gladiator, Crowe was tough and built like a brick house, but as time went on, those bricks turned to rubble as Crowe began appearing more and more with what can only be described as the daddest of bods, growing a big lumberjack beard and gut to go with it. This change was emphasized in Thor: Love and Thunder, released in 2022, where Crowe played the god Zeus, and instead of appearing as he does in lore as this massive muscular lightning guy, he just looked like someone's dad dressed up for a frat party that he was not invited to. Number 9. Madonna. Madonna has surely gotten stuck in your head before, with classic radio hits like Material Girls and Crazy for You still being played at dance clubs worldwide. What may have also gotten stuck in your head was just how gorgeous this woman once was. In the 80s, Madonna was well known for her stylish duds and big blonde hair, and at times almost channeling Marilyn Monroe's energy. It was unfortunate then that Madonna felt the need to fall into the world of plastic surgery and injections as she got older. Photo comparisons from the 80s to now showcase these major changes, with her forehead appearing to be pushed out, as well as her cheeks and her lips being filled with enough Botox to give her the appearance of someone wearing a silicone mask of Madonna over their own face. We can only imagine what she may have looked like if she had not undergone the surgery. Would she still be a material girl, or would that material be covered in fluids only visible with a black light? We'll never know. Number 8. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is a madman in the world of Hollywood. His career was on a steady streak of wins since starring as the most misunderstood barber in the town, Edward Scissorhands, in 1990. He got his first big break in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but we can all agree that Edward was the first time that we were like, hey, who's that guy? Unfortunately, fame has taken its toll on Johnny both physically and mentally. While the majority of this list will be people who have only aged poorly, on the outside, Johnny has been going downhill over the past few years thanks to a very public lawsuit between himself and his ex-wife Amber Heard. They spent almost a month in court with hours and hours of footage being shared to the world for all of us to enjoy and debate. In the end, Johnny won that case, proving that Amber had in fact fabricated several of the situations that she had been claiming in her 2018 op-ed. While there was most certainly more to this story, and there is no way Johnny is completely innocent, the stress of the situation seemed to take a toll on Johnny. The once soft-faced, calm, cool, and collected Depp now resembled his Pirates of the Caribbean's character more than ever. So, hey Disney, how about we save some money and get that 6th movie going? Pirates of the Caribbean, huh? Lost in a courtroom? Number 7. Macaulay Culkin. Culkin broke our hearts when he made his first on-screen appearance as Lil Thomas in the movie My Girl, and he continued to entertain us over the next few years, being a part of blockbuster hits like Home Alone and Richie Rich. His career seemed to be on an upward climb, ensuring that he would have work well into his adult years. It turns out that life had other plans for Macaulay. Between the years of 2003 and 2019, Culkin has remained fairly reserved in the Hollywood eye, appearing only in low-budget passion projects or straight-to-video films. It may have been because the once young and fresh Culkin had now been in his early 20s and he was not playing by the rules. A mugshot of Macaulay made headlines in 2004 when he was arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, following a routine inspection of his vehicle. Rumors of Culkin's substance issues arose as the actor was later seen appearing frail and as if he hadn't eaten in weeks. Many were concerned for Culkin's health, but he later revealed in an interview in 2021 that he had finally gotten a hold of his issues and he was on track to recovery. So, right on, Lil Mac. Number 6. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay was once a young Disney darling, appearing in several timeless classics over the years. Following her role in The Parent Trap, her career only seemed to rise. Unfortunately, her career took a step in the wrong direction when she was arrested in 2007 for driving under the influence of a controlled substance, for which she only spent 84 minutes in jail. Yes, I said that, minutes. Lindsay gets a warning. Most people get life. As the mugshots began to release, it was clear that Lindsay was slowly chipping away at herself. She began looking sickly and pale, and it's obvious that after a couple of years she had some kind of work done to herself. Well, that really didn't help the situation. Thanks to her time in jail and multiple incidents caught on camera, her career came to an abrupt standstill. Now the young child actor that we loved growing up is hidden behind the thickest layer of silicone. Number 5. Joe Pesci. Now when you see Joe's face, you certainly recoil and cringe in fear because hey, that's the guy who tried to break into Kevin's house in Home Alone. Since the early 1980s, this man has been in everything. Joe's career is one filled with one movie from every genre. This guy was a mob man, a home invader, a Popeye-esque fisherman, and he was cousin frickin' Vinny. What's funny about Joe is that he aged poorly, but he's looked the same since the 1980s. He may just look like a little younger in his Home Alone days, but Joe seems to be suffering from some type of a Benjamin Button syndrome. Now if you don't know what that is, that's fair. Who has 3 hours to watch that movie? Basically, I'm saying he was born looking like an old man. While in Benjamin Button, Brad Pitt looks younger with age, it's almost like that part does not apply to Joe and he just looks old all the time. His age has not stopped him from making waves in the acting world though, as he is set to star in a TV series alongside Saturday Night Live alumni Pete Davidson in a show called Butt Kiss that has so far received incredible reviews. So who knows, maybe we'll get a Home Alone reunion in a couple years. You know, we've all been waiting for it. Number 4, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer made his name a staple when he starred in the beloved classic fantasy film Willow as Mad Mardigan, a swordsman who spends the movie protecting a little baby from evil forces. Personally, he made a staple in my head as the Batman that beat up Jim Carrey, but we'll get into that another time. Over the years, Kilmer has aged gracefully, being the leading man type over and over again, seemingly casted because of his looks over his acting chops, which many consider to be a little stiff. Well, much like Mickey Rourke, Kilmer's roles began to shift from leading strongman to the dark and silent guy, and I mean, just look at his headshot. He looks like an evil scientist trying to invite you into his mansion to show you his collection of animal skulls. Honestly, I'd watch that movie. That sounds kind of cool. Number 3, Cher. Ever since rising to the fame in the 1960s, Cher has been absolutely slaying it in the world of pop music, rocking her own solo career and collaborating with several musicians over the years. Her style and voice will definitely not be a stranger to you, unless of course you have seen her lately. Now, don't get me wrong, she's absolutely stunning and she's put in a lot of work to stay healthy and happy. But over the years, Cher has been open about having numerous amounts of surgeries, including lip fillers and receiving Botox in her cheeks, leaving her in a constant state of just like, what's happening? Despite having a negative experience with her surgeries, reportedly even receiving a certain augmentation that went horribly wrong, she still continues to undergo the knife to this day. For all we know, she could be under it right now. Ooh. Number 2, Dolly Parton. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Sounds very relaxing. It's nice. Dolly is a jack of all trades. She may have risen to fame thanks to her musical chops, but nowadays she works as a philanthropist and a businesswoman. If you want proof that she's more than music, just go visit her theme park in Tennessee. It's called Dollywood and it's something. While Dolly may not be busy in the world of music these days, she has been changing the world in other ways. Her Dollywood Park was meant to be the start of a foundation, but it morphed into a program that distributes books to children across the world, from their first books to their college textbooks. Now that is saving the world. Those things are so expensive and you only need it for like 1 semester. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Her voice makes us all swoon, and we have no doubt that she could easily take our man. But once that man gets a good look at her, that feeling might change. Unfortunately, Dolly is one of the many celebrities who underwent lots of surgery to augment her face. As she got older, her face became more and more stiff. Unfortunately, she's done a ton of things to yank her face backwards and taken her natural beauty and just like pulled it back and stapled it. Number 1, Mickey Rourke. The big man Mickey Rourke has been a prolific actor for quite some time, making his major motion debut in the 1986 romantic drama 9.5 Weeks Later as John Gray, a Wall Street trader who falls for an art gallery assistant, and the situation escalates very quickly. Back in the day, he was cast as this handsome leading man, or the heartthrob for the most part, but since receiving massive amounts of plastic surgery and lip fillers in the early 2000s, he looks more like a clay model of his former self, admitting in 2017 that his ever-changing face was due to botched surgeries conducted to mend his boxing scars. Now, I don't don't know a ton about boxing, but I no longer intend to. He's since appeared in such blockbusters like Iron Man 2 as the villain, and Sin City as a scarred up trenchcoat wearing bad guy named Marv. Far from the soft-faced Mickey that your parents probably had a poster on their wall of.
Number 10. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin broke our hearts when he made his first on-screen appearance as Lil Thomas in the movie My Girl, and continued to entertain us over the next few years, being a part of blockbuster hits like the Home Alone franchise and Richie Rich. His career seemed to be on an upward climb, ensuring he would have worked well into his adult years. Turns out life had other plans for Macaulay. Between the years 2003 and 2019, Culkin had remained fairly reserved in the Hollywood eye, appearing only in low-budget passion projects or straight-to-video films. It may have been because the once young and fresh Culkin was now in his early 20s and was not playing by the rules. A mugshot of Culkin made headlines in 2004 when he was arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription following a routing inspection of his vehicle. Rumors of Culkin's substance issues arose as the actor was later seen appearing frail and as if he hadn't eaten in weeks. Many were concerned for Culkin's health, but he later revealed in an interview in 2021 that he had finally gotten a hold of his issues and was on the track to recovery. Number 9. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay is a Disney star who actually never appeared in a sitcom or TV series. She actually got her start acting at just the age of 3, starring in over 60 TV spots and commercials for brands like Gap, Zaha, and Jell-O. She got her big break when Disney casted her to play 2 roles in the classic family comedy The Parent Trap. She played twin sisters Hallie Parker and Annie James, who randomly meet at summer camp and discover their parents split them up when they were babies following a divorce. The twins then hatch a plot to get the mom and dad back together, and it is delightful. Now her career only seemed to rise from there, starring in several cult classics like Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Mean Girls as the main character, Katie Heron. Unfortunately, her career took a step in the wrong direction when she was arrested in 2007 for driving under the influence of a controlled substance, for which she served 84 minutes in jail. Yeah, minutes. Some people spend years in jail, but Lindsay got a warning. Now until 2022, her career was at an abrupt standstill, and Lindsay decided to take the time to make some cosmetic adjustments. She got some work done for herself, and the little Lindsay we grew up with is now trapped behind a thin layer of silicone. Number 8. Dolly Parton. Dolly is a jack of all trades. She may have risen to fame thanks to her musical chops, but nowadays she works as a philanthropist and a businesswoman. If you want proof that she's more than just music, go visit her theme park in Tennessee. It's called Dollywood, and it is iconic. While Dolly may not be as busy in the world of music nowadays, she has been changing the world in other ways. Her Dolly Park was meant to be the start of a foundation, but morphed into a program that distributes books to children. Now her voice makes us all swoon, and we have no doubt she could easily take our man, but her looks aren't what they used to be. Unfortunately, Dolly is one of the many celebrities who underwent surgery to augment her facial features. As she got older, her face became more and more stiff, and unfortunately she's done a ton of things to her face that have taken her natural beauty away. Number 7. Madonna. Madonna has surely gotten stuck in your head before, with classic radio hits like Material Girl and Crazy For You still being played at dance clubs worldwide. What may have also been stuck in your head was just how gorgeous this woman once was. In the 80s, Madonna was well known for her stylish outfits and big blonde hair at times. It was unfortunate that Madonna felt the need to fall into the world of plastic surgery and injections as she got older. Photo comparisons from the 80s to now showcase these major changes, with her forehead appearing to be pushed out, as well as her cheeks and her lips being filled with enough Botox to give her the appearance of someone wearing a silicone mask of Madonna over their own face. We can only imagine what she may have looked like if she had not undergone the surgery. Would she still be a material girl, or would that material be moth-ridden and covered in coffee stains? Who knows? Number 6. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is a madman in the world of Hollywood. His career was on a steady streak of wins since starring as the most misunderstood barber, Edward Scissorhands, in 1990. He got his first break in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but we can all agree Edward was the first time we were really like, who is this guy? Unfortunately, fame has taken its toll on Johnny both physically and mentally. While the majority of this list will be people who have only aged poorly physically, Johnny has been going downhill over the past few years thanks to a very public lawsuit between himself and his ex-wife Amber Heard. They spent almost a month in court with hours and hours of footage being shared to the world for all of us to enjoy and debate. In the end, Johnny won the case, proving that Amber had in fact fabricated several of the situations she had been claiming in her 2018 op-ed. While there was most certainly more to the story, and there is no way Johnny is completely innocent, the stress of the situation seemed to take its its toll on Johnny, the once soft-faced, calm, cool, and collected Depp is just straight up ugly, while it appears that Amber Heard is glowing in a different country. Number 5. Elizabeth Moss. Alright, before I start this entry, let me just say this woman is a wonderful actor, and I am in no way trying to get her cancelled. I just have a little bit of inside info that you get to know for being a part of this awesome channel. Elizabeth has cemented herself as a force to be reckoned with, making shows like Mad Men and The Handmaid's Tale her babies. She really caught the world's attention when she starred in one of the last movies to be released in theaters before the world closed in 2020. The Invisible Man was a perfect example of Elizabeth's being able to deliver a fearful and manic performance for all of us to enjoy, while her method for getting that mindset is apparently a little messy. According to on-set sources, Elizabeth is an avid consumer of the no-no snow. Apparently she just loves this stuff and is known to have a little sugar shot to get her going for the more wild scenes. Unfortunately, as anyone who consumes this stuff knows, it takes a physical toll on the body. As the years have gone by, her eyes have become more and more sunken and red, and not to mention she's a part of Scientology, but I'll just leave that there. Number 4. Mickey Rourke. The big man Mickey Rourke has been a prolific actor for quite some time, making his major motion debut in the 1986 romantic drama 9.5 Weeks Later as John Gray, a Wall Street trader who falls for an art gallery assistant and escalates that situation quickly. Back in the day, he was cast as the handsome leading man, or heartthrob for the most part, but since receiving massive amounts of plastic surgery and lip filler in the early 2000s, he looks more like a clay model of his former self, admitting in 2017 that his ever-changing face was due to botched surgeries conducted to mend his boxing scars. I don't know much about boxing, and I no longer intend to. He's since appeared in such blockbuster hits as Iron Man 2 as the villain Whiplash, and Sin City as a scared-up trenchcoat wearing bad boy Marv. From the soft-faced Mickey your parents once probably had a poster of on their wall. Number 3. Cher. Ever since rising to fame in the 1960s, Cher has been absolutely slaying it in the world of pop music. Rocking her own solo career and collaborating with several musicians over the years, her style and voice will definitely not be a stranger to you, unless of course you've seen her lately. Now don't get me wrong, she's absolutely stunning and has put in a lot of work to stay healthy and happy in her personal life, but over the years Cher has been open about having numerous surgeries she's had done. These include lip fillers and receiving Botox in her cheeks, leaving her in a constant state of Despite having a negative experience with her surgeries, reportedly even receiving a certain augmentation that went horribly wrong, she still continues to go under the knife to this day. I mean, for all we know, she could be under right now. Whoa. Number 2. Keith Richards. Keith has been one of the key members of the British rock group The Rolling Stones since co-founding the crew with his longtime partner Mick Jagger in 1962. As you can imagine, the wild world of rock and roll has taken its toll on a lot of people, and we could literally make a series of musicians that look rough now, but we'll save that for another day. In a recent interview for Fox News, Keith went into more detail about his past and what made him look like the melted ice cream pop version of himself he is today. According to Richards, between 1960 and 70, himself and his late partner Anita Pallenberg were deep into a substance control problem involving a substance that I refer to as spicy spoon juice. If you know, you know, and if you don't, good, keep it that way. The addiction caused Richards and Anita's relationship to shift as Richards wanted to quit while Anita was unwilling or unable to. The stress of the relationship, which was mostly cheating on both parts, combined with the heavy substance use, left Richards looking more and more disheveled by the day. One day he was able to kick both Anita and the bad habit, but unfortunately the rock and roll took its toll on old Richards. And coming in at number 1 is Joe Pesci. When you see Joe's face, you certainly recoil and cringe and fear because he's the guy who tried to break into Kevin's house in Home Alone. Since the early 1980s, this man has been in everything. Joe's career is one filled with one movie from every genre. This guy was a mob man, a home invader, a Popeye-esque fisherman, and cousin frickin' Vinny. What's funny about Joe is that he aged poorly, but he's looked the same since the 80s. He may just look a little younger in his Home Alone days, but Joe seems to be suffering from some type of Benjamin Button syndrome, and if you don't know what that is, that's fair. Who has 3 hours to watch
watch that. Basically, I'm saying he was born looking like an old man. While in Benjamin Button, Brad Pitt looks younger with age, it's almost like that part doesn't apply to Joe and he just looks old all the time. His age has not stopped him from making waves in the acting world, however, and he is set to star in the TV series alongside Saturday Night alumni Pete Davidson in the new show called Bumkiss that has received incredible reviews so far. So who knows, maybe we'll get that Home Alone reunion we've all been waiting for.
Number 10. Mia Jovovich. The action star, best known for her role as Alice in the much debated Resident Evil series, is arguably one of the most gorgeous zombie slayers of all time. First stunning audiences with her beauty in the film The Fifth Element as Lilu, who it turns out, spoiler alert, is the Fifth Element. Mind blown. The image of a bright orange-haired alien beauty has been burned into the memory of anyone who has seen that movie, which is why it's quite jarring to see her on the street nowadays. A photo was recently captured by paparazzi showing Mia with a punk rock buzz cut and cut jean shorts. Now while this may just be a temporary hairstyle, this is far from the Mia that we're used to seeing on screen. I mean, look at that. It looks like she saw someone mowing their lawn and was like, hey, could you take a little off the top, please? We hope that as time goes on, Mia will regress back into her Lilu days. Lilu. Number 9. Zac Efron. The former Disney Channel star has been considered a Hollywood hottie for most of his career, starring in many films like Neighbors, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, and even trying his hand at more serious roles with movies like Charlie St. Cloud and Gold. While Zac was aging gracefully for the most part, many fans started speculating that he may have received some kind of facial reconstructive surgery following an appearance on Bill Nye's Earth Day musical on Facebook, where fans claimed that he looked like he had just been stung by a bee or something. Well, after a year of speculation, it turned out that there was some truth to that theory. You see, he hadn't undergone surgery. In fact, the actor's facial differences were due to a jaw injury he had sustained in 2013. Zac broke his jaw and had to have his mouth wired shut after he was running through his house with socks on, slipped, and went face first into a granite fountain. Hey man, we've all been there. Apparently, he had been undergoing physical therapy for the incident for quite some time, but had recently stopped going, which caused his face to kind of puff up. This doesn't help the situation, however, as Efron was recently spotted on set for a new biographical film called The Iron Claw, in which he plays the titular wrestler. For this role, Efron bulked up significantly, now making the rest of him look like he was stung by a hornet, and is sporting a haircut reminiscent of Friar Tuck in Robin Hood. Hopefully the movie will be so good that it's worth that bowl cut. Number 8. Madonna. Madonna has surely gotten stuck in your head before, with classic radio hits like Material Girls and Crazy for You still being played at dance clubs worldwide. Now what may have also gotten stuck in your head was just how gorgeous this woman once was. In the 80s, Madonna was well known for her stylish duds and big blonde hair, at times almost channeling Marilyn Monroe's energy. It was unfortunate then that Madonna felt the need to fall into the world of plastic surgery and injections as she got older. Photo comparisons from the 80s to now showcase these major changes, with her forehead appearing to be pushed out as well as her cheeks and her lips being filled with enough Botox to give her the appearance of someone wearing a silicone mask of Madonna over their own face. We can only imagine what she may have looked like if she had not gone the surgery, but would she still be a material girl, or would that material be moth-ridden and covered in coffee stains? Who knows? Number 7. Macaulay Culkin. Culkin broke our hearts when he made his first on-screen appearance as Little Thomas in the movie My Girl, and he continued to entertain us over the next few years, being a part of blockbuster hits like the Home Alone franchise and Richie Rich. His career seemed to be on an upward climb, ensuring that he would have work well into his adult years, but it turns out that life had other plans for Macaulay. Between the years of 2003 to 2019, Culkin had remained fairly reserved in the Hollywood eye, only appearing in a few low-budget passion projects or straight-to-video films. It may have been because the once young and fresh Culkin was now in his early 20s and he was not playing by the rules. A mugshot of Culkin made headlines in 2004 when he was arrested for possessions of a controlled substance without a prescription, following a routine inspection of his vehicle. Rumors of Culkin's substance issues arose as the actor was later seen appearing frail and as if he hadn't eaten in weeks. Many people were concerned for Culkin's health, but he later revealed in an interview in 2021 that he'd finally gotten a hold of his issues and he was on track to recovery and looking much better. Right on, Lil Mac. Number 6. Mickey Rourke. The big man, Mickey Rourke, has been a prolific actor for quite some time, making his major motion debut in the 1986 romantic drama 9.5 Weeks Later as John Gray, a Wall Street trader who falls for an art gallery assistant and escalates that situation very quickly. Back in the day, he was cast as the handsome leading man or heartthrob for the most most part. But since receiving massive amounts of plastic surgery and lip fillers in the early 2000s, he looks more like a clay model of his former self, admitting in 2017 that his ever-changing face was due to botched surgeries conducted to mend his boxing scars. I don't know much about boxing and I no longer intend to. He's since appeared in such blockbuster hits like Iron Man 2 as the villain Whiplash and Sin City as a scarred up trenchcoat wearing bad boy named Marv. So it's far from the soft-faced Mickey that your parents once probably had a poster of on their wall. I didn't. What? Stop talking. Next, number 5, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer made his name a staple when he starred in the beloved classic fantasy film Willow as Matt Mardigan, a swordsman who spends the movie protecting the titular baby from evil forces. Personally, he made a staple in my head as being the Batman that beat up Jim Carrey, but we won't get into that. Over the years, Kilmer has aged gracefully, being the leading man type over and over again, seemingly casted because of his looks over his acting chops, which many consider to be stiff. Well, much like Mickey Rourke, Kilmer's roles began to shift from leading strong type to the dark and silent bad guy. I mean, just look at this headshot. He looks like an evil scientist trying to invite you into his mansion to show you his collection of animal skulls. Honestly, I think I'd watch that movie. Number 4, Cher. Ever since rising to fame in the 1960s, Cher has been absolutely slaying it in the world of pop music, rocking her own solo career and collaborating with several musicians over the years. Her style and voice will definitely not be a stranger to you, unless of course you've seen her lately. Now, don't get me wrong, she's absolutely stunning and has put in a lot of work to stay healthy and happy in her personal life, but over the years, Cher has been open about having numerous amounts of surgeries done, including lip fillers, receiving Botox in her cheeks, leaving her in a constant state of, really? Despite having negative experiences with her surgeries, reportedly even receiving a certain augmentation that went horribly wrong, she still continues to undergo the knife to this day. For all we know, she might be under right now. Whoa. Number 3, Celine Dion. Celine Dion is just one of many Canadian treasures that have been unleashed on this world. Growing up in Charlemagne, Quebec, Dion began performing at a very young age and quickly garnered international fame for her incredible voice and her larger-than-life performance style. With legendary hits like My Heart Will Go On from the film Titanic and the song Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, Celine is sure to have been rattling around in your head at least a few times over the years. Unfortunately, the once youthful and larger-than-life performer has not aged well over the years. While she has never received plastic surgery of any kind, you go girl, the latest photos show Celine appearing to be void of any body fat whatsoever, causing her to appear almost skeletal sometimes. We hope that this is simply a case of age ruling its ugly head and not something more serious. Good luck, Celine. Number 2, David Krumholtz. David's face may be familiar to many of you as Bernard the Elf from the Santa Claus franchise. David has been acting for quite some time though, making appearances over the years in shows like Freaks and Geeks and Mom. He's also familiar to many for his more raunchy performances, working in films like Harold and Kumar as well as several collaborations with Seth Rogen. In his youth, Krumholtz was often typecast as the young, squishy-faced good guy with a little bit of a bad boy streak. Unfortunately, as time went on, the actor appeared to be struggling with his weight, appearing to gain and lose it very rapidly. For example, in the HBO series The Deuce, David plays a character named Harvey Wasserman, who in season 1 weighed just over 300 pounds. But when he appeared in season 2's premiere, he weighed just barely 100 pounds. Now this constant back and forth shift cannot be healthy for anybody. As seen in recent photos, it looks like this back and forth is seriously starting to take a toll on the Deuce. Number 1, Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is the Gladiator Maximus to many people, a role that he portrayed in the 2000 film Gladiator. It was a commanding and brutal performance from Crowe, astonishing crowds worldwide and creating a massive buzz for what this man might do next. In Gladiator, Crowe was tough and built like a brick house. As time went on, those bricks seemed to be turning into rubble, because Crowe began appearing more and more with what we can only describe as the daddest of bods, growing a big lumberjack beard and gut to go with it. This change was emphasized in Thor Love and Thunder, released in 2022, when Crowe played the god Zeus, and instead of appearing as he does in lore as a massive, muscular lightning god, he just looks like someone's dad dressed up for a frat party that he was not invited to.
In at number 10, Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. If I'm gonna be honest with you, when this couple was first announced, I was pretty sure this was some sort of publicity stunt. I don't think I was the only one, but a lot of people thought so. I just thought it was a very strange coupling, you know what I mean? However, the two are still going strong and are now married. The pair first announced their relationship when Nick was 26 and Priyanka was 36. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Chopra said that she and Jonas were both wearing Ralph Lauren to the Met Gala, so they ended up going together and obviously spending a lot of time together. After only 2 months of dating, the pair announced their engagement engagement in July of 2018. The pair then had wedding ceremonies in the United States and India, where Chopra is from. Regarding their age gap, a source close to the couple said, quote, "The age difference is not a big deal to them whatsoever," adding that Nick, quote, "loves dating older women, and if anything it makes Priyanka even more attractive to him. This is because Nick is apparently an old soul."
And I got down on one knee and said, "Where have you been all my life?"
He actually did.
And at number 9, Jay-Z and Beyonce. This power couple has been together for what feels like forever. I almost forgot that they had a considerable age gap. The couple got together in 2001 when Jay was 32 and Beyonce was only 20. They got married years later in 2008 and gave birth to their first child, Blue Ivy, in 2012. The pair has dealt with marital issues related to Jay-Z's cheating and even spoke about his infidelity on his recent album, 444. The couple was able to work out their issues and they welcomed twins Rumi and Sir in 2017. And at number 8, Viola Davis and Julius Tenen. Viola Davis and Julius Tenen got married in 2003 and they've remained a strong couple ever since. The pair has a 12-year age gap between them. Viola is 55 years old while Julius is 67. The couple also adopted a child together in 2011. When speaking about how the pair met, Viola said that she was going through a time of intense loneliness, which led her to start praying for a man in her life. Less than 3 weeks later, her prayers were answered, and she met Julius on set while filming an episode of City of Angels. And at number 7, Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. This happy couple has been together for more than 20 years, meeting on set in 1995. The two hit it off almost instantly and got married a year later in 1996, which actually happens to be my birth year. I mean, that's beside the point, but I just had to point that out. The couple have a 13-year age gap. Jackman is 52 while Lee Furness is 65. They've adopted 2 kids together. Jackman told People that even though his wife is technically older, it really doesn't feel like it, saying, quote, "I'm literally the adult in the relationship. She's just like a little kid. I'm the one saying, babe, that's not a legal parking spot." And I just love her even more for that.
I knew pretty soon in, but it was also my first job. Deb was a leading lady and I was fully aware this was a cliche and I was probably being ridiculous.
My New Year's resolution was I'm not dating any actors and definitely none under 30. Meet my husband.
And at number 6, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi. Ellen and Portia first started dating in 2004 and have been inseparable ever since. Only a year later, the couple had moved in together. The pair has a 15-year age gap. Ellen is currently 63 while Portia is 48. When talking about the relationship, Ellen said, quote, "It's the first time that I've known in every cell of my being that I'm with somebody for the rest of my life." The pair got married in 2008, shortly after gay marriage was legalized. Halfway at number 5, George Clooney and Amal Clooney. George and Amal are probably one of my all-time favorite couples, especially because Amal was able to make an honest man out of him and take him out of his bachelor phase. In 2014, the pair announced their engagement to the shock of many. At the time, Clooney was 52 and Amal was 35. The pair have a 17-year age gap between them. The couple officially tied the knot in September of 2014, just a year after they met, with a beautiful Venetian wedding. The pair now have 2 kids together, twins Ella and Alexander. When speaking about their age gap, Clooney said, quote, "Well, I liked her, but I didn't want to jump the shark on it. I couldn't tell if she liked me because I'm 17 years older than her, so she might have thought I was her grandpa." Yeah, I don't think there's anyone on earth who would consider George Clooney a grandpa, like, come on. And at number 4, Leonardo DiCaprio and Camila Morrone. So if you watched the most recent Golden Globes, you saw Ricky Gervais savagely call out Leo for exclusively dating girls that are way too young for him. It's such a hot topic that someone actually made a graph calling out the fact that the ages of the girls that he dates stayed the same over the years while he just keeps getting older. He is currently dating actress Camila Morrone, who is 24, while Leo is 46, a 23-year age gap. Recently, Camila spoke about their age gap after she noticed Leo being heavily criticized online, saying, quote, "There's so many relationships in Hollywood and in the history of the world where people have large age gaps. I just think anyone should be able to date who they want to date." The couple was first linked together in January of 2018 during a trip to Aspen, Colorado. The pair are pretty private about the relationship and really don't share much with the public. And at number 3, Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor. This gap is definitely the biggest on this list so far, with 32 years in between them. In 2015, rumors started to swirl that American Horror Story's Sarah Paulson was dating Holland Taylor. Paulson later confirmed their relationship in an interview with the New York Times in 2016, stating, quote, "What I can say absolutely is that I am in love, and that person happens to be Holland Taylor." Paulson is 46 and Taylor is 78. The two first got together in 2015, but they had met 14 years earlier at a dinner party. At that time, Paulson was with her ex. However, she says that she remembered thinking Taylor was, quote, "probably the most exquisitely beautiful woman she'd ever seen." And at number 2, Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Alec and Hilaria have 26 years between them, but that hasn't changed much about about their relationship. They first met in 2011 in New York when Hilaria was working as a yoga instructor. Their relationship moved quickly from there. Hilaria told Beach magazine in 2013, quote, 5 months into our relationship, we got an apartment together. Then we started talking about getting married, then he proposed, then we got married, now we have a kid. The couple has been together for 10 years and now have 6 children together. Hilaria is 37 and Alec is 62. And finally, number 1, Alexis Roderick and Billy Joel. Billy Joel recently married his 4th wife, Alexis Roderick, his biggest age gap relationship to date. At the time of the wedding, Joel was 66 and Roderick was 33. The couple welcomed daughter Della Rose in 2015 and a second daughter, Remy Ann, in 2017. Initially, the couple kept their relationship very quiet and made no mention of it on social media. However, a month later, it was confirmed that Joel had fallen for Alexis. She revealed that the two had been friends for years before getting together. When speaking about the relationship to Parade magazine in 2018, Joel said that in his other relationships, he was mostly concerned with working, and he was away from the house most of the time. But this time, he's working less, and he wants to concentrate more of his time on being a family man and spend time with his kids. And at number 10, Bob Saget and Kelly Rizzo. The Full House star got married to his bride in 2018. The pair have a 33-year age gap between them. Apparently, Saget proposed during an episode of Stranger Things. While watching the show, he decided to get up and grab the ring he had been hiding for 4 days. Rizzo answered the question of how the couple met on TikTok. Apparently, it all started when Saget DM'd her on Instagram. Apparently, Saget even contacted someone that knew her beforehand to get a better read on her. After that friend spoke highly of her, Saget decided to ask her on a date. Now the rest is history, and they've been together ever since. And at number 9, Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger. When this couple first got together, no one was really even talking about their age gap because everyone was more concerned with the drama around them. Firstly was that Pratt was going to be marrying Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, and that Pratt was going to be getting married after her shocking divorce from Anna Faris. At the time they married, Katherine was 31 and Pratt was 41. The couple got married in 2019 and welcomed their first child, daughter named Lila, in August of 2020. And Katherine might have actually manifested the relationship happening beforehand in 2018, because in an interview she was asked which Pratt was her favorite, and she replied, quote, Chris Pratt. He's been looking so good lately. Or maybe he just saw that and decided to hit her up. Who knows? And at number 8, William H. Macy and Felicity Huffman. This couple's even more interesting to me because I just started rewatching Desperate Housewives again, and I forgot how amazing that show is. It's literally one of my all-time favorite shows. Lynette is also my favorite housewife on that show, if you're wondering. William and Felicity dated on and off for 15 years before they finally decided to get married in 1997. The pair have a 12-year age gap between them. The couple's been together ever since and now have 2 daughters together. The family was also the subject of controversy when it was revealed that Felicity Huffman paid someone to take the SATs for one of her daughters, and she ended up serving 14 days in jail for her role in that scandal. And at number 7, Daryl Hannah and Neil Young. This union was revealed accidentally while Young was discussing voting at a conference and referred to Hannah as his wife. The couple started dating in 2014 and decided to get married 4 years later in 2018. There is a 15-year age gap between them. Young is 75 and Hannah is 60. Apparently, the couple had 2 separate ceremonies to celebrate their union. One was on Neil Young's yacht and another was just in California. And at number 6, Heidi Klum and Tom Cowlitz. This pair started dating in 2018 and Klum is 16 years his senior. Klum has spoken about the age gap and told InStyle, quote, my boyfriend is many years younger than me, and lots of people are questioning that and asking about it. That's really the only time when age seems to be shoved in my face and I have to give an answer for it. I don't really think much about it otherwise. The couple got married in 2019 in a small legal ceremony, then had the full-blown wedding in August of 2019. And Heidi has revealed that there's no doubt that Tom is the one for her, telling people, quote, he is the kindest, sweetest, most caring, loving person. I feel so lucky. I don't know the last time I was this happy in my life. He is absolutely wonderful. Maybe it's because he is German and we understand each other in a different way, but so far so good. He's also apparently a phenomenal stepdad to her 4 children. Halfway at number 5, Eddie Murphy and Paige Butcher. Eddie and Paige met in 2012 and started dating shortly after. The pair first met on the set of Big Mama's House 2 because Murphy was on set visiting his good friend Martin Lawrence. While there, he had an interaction with Paige and the two kept in touch. The pair have an 18-year age gap between them. The pair got engaged in 2018 and now have 2 children together, son Max and daughter Izzy. Murphy somewhat poked fun at the age gap when he shared that he had welcomed a grandchild around the same time as his second child with Butcher, saying in an interview, quote, I have my first grandchild, so I think she's 5 months, a 5-year-old grandchild, and a 10-month-old son. Guess that makes me a heck of a fella. My son is my granddaughter's uncle. And at number 4, Sam and Aaron Taylor-Johnson. These two met on the set of the movie Nowhere Boy. Sam was the director of the movie while Aaron was starring in it. Aaron was only 18 when the pair first first met on the set of the film while Sam was 41. The couple has a 23-year age gap between them. In a 2019 interview with Harper's Bazaar, the couple said that they were professional on the set of the 2009 movie, adding, quote, "But everyone on set knew. As soon as we finished, he told me he was going to marry me. We had never even been on a date or even kissed." Aaron then said that exactly a year after they met, exactly to the minute, he proposed. They got married in 2012 and changed their last name to Taylor Johnson. The couple now has 2 children together, daughters Wilda Ray and Romy Hero. And at number 3, Rosie Huntington Whiteley and Jason Statham. This couple has 20 years between them, but they hardly ever notice. The couple first started dating in 2010, got engaged in 2016, and welcomed their first child, Jack Oscar, in June of 2017. There's a rumor that the couple met on the set of the Transformers movie in 2010, however that's actually not the case. Rosie confirmed on her Instagram that the pair actually met at a party in London in 2009, adding that it was, quote, "instant chemistry." The couple went public when they later went together to Coachella. After nearly 6 months of dating, they moved in together and started being seen out in public more. When asked about their age gap, Rosie said, quote, "It's never been an issue. Age is nothing but a number." The couple is now engaged and has been so for years, but are in no rush to get married. And at number 2, Dane Cook and Kelsey Taylor. This couple is a 26-year age difference. Dane Cook is 49 and his girlfriend Kelsey is 22. The couple is very public on social media and even participated in an online Q&A to answer their fans' burning questions. When one fan asked, quote, "What advice do you have to those in age gap relationships?" Cook replied, quote, "The only thing you have to do is plan that your deaths will be somewhat far apart." He also answered the question of how the couple met. Apparently Kelsey attended a party Cook had at his house, and they developed a friendship afterwards, which later turned into a relationship. In February 2018, Dane actually commented on the relationship on an episode of Jimmy Kimmel. After he mentioned the pair's 26-year age gap, he noticed an audible reaction from the crowd, and then he said, quote, "Thank you for the snickers of approval. I'm sure that wasn't judgment at all." Definitely no judgment there. And finally, number 1, Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. Following her split from her ex, Caitlyn Jenner, Kris moved on to Corey Gamble. This couple is a 25-year age gap. Kris is 65 and Corey is 40. The couple have been dating since roughly 2014, and he's been featured on their reality show Keeping Up on multiple occasions. Thankfully, Corey gets along with the family quite well, however he's actually the exact same age as Kim. Not sure if that gets awkward at times. Corey and Kris met in August of 2014 at fashion designer Riccardo Tisi's 40th birthday party in Ibiza. The party was thrown by Kanye West, which makes everything just a little more fitting. If you're wondering what Corey does for work, he's a talent manager, and People magazine reported that he was working as Justin Bieber's tour manager when he first met Kris. Justin and Corey are close, and Corey often refers to him as his nephew.